Hello, my fellow YouTubers. Hope my voice holds out. Uh, it's been a little rough lately. Been a rough winter for me. Um, been in a lot of pain. Even though I did end up going sledding, I drove to the park, went down the hill about 4 or 5 times, and then that was it. Um, it's just been in so much pain. My bad shoulder, my spine, my neck. Um, it's frustrating. Um, but this is me, Timothy Krosky from the Timothy Krosky and Family Channel. Keep praying for me. Today's video is the two-part. First part, kind of like my Navy journey. You can read my entire Navy journey on my website. It's like a blog site called karatetim.com. So you see I have my battleship hat on. The greatest ship I ever served on. My naval career started out in 1984. I was in the delayed entry program. And then right after graduating high school, I went straight to boot camp. I had a little bit of advantage because I had the DEPRS training behind me. And we did a lot of Navy videos, like about Navy etiquette, uniform standards, all that stuff. So that gave me a little bit of advantage. But after that, I went to Long Beach, California on the Battleship New Jersey, Pier 6, BB-62, which I served on until 1990. I did West Pacific deployment, Westpac, as they call it in the Navy. Westpac 86, 88, 89, 90. On the battleship, I was a left lower powder door operator. Was my position during general quarters. General quarters is when they call combat. And during general quarters, I operated the left lower powder door. On the battleship, we had the big 16-inch guns. I worked in turret 3, the aft turret, and powder door is 2 like brass doors. They open like this, and they put 3 bags of powder on the top, and 3 bags of powder at the bottom. Bags weigh 110 pounds apiece. There was a lever. I pulled the lever, hit the signal, hoist operator brought up the bags. They dumped it into what they call a cradle. The cradle folds down. And they put the 3 bags, well, actually all 6 bags actually got dumped in. But before that happened, so I was talking about the bags because that's why I worked at the powder flight area, powder door. But before that happens, a projectile comes up, and there's different types of projectiles. They weigh up to 2,700 pounds, size of like a Volkswagen. All right. The projectile comes up on the projectile hoist. It comes straight up. Lays onto the they lay it onto the cradle. The rammer man, the rammer is like a big hammer. Bam! Rams the projectile into the gun. Okay, and then those 6 bags I was talking about, 110 pounds apiece. The rammer man rams those bags in. They closed the breech, lift the cradle, they primed the gun. Then the gunner's mates took over. They did the elevating. they did the rotation of the hoist, all that stuff. Put it on target, bam, fired it. Now imagine doing that over and over and over again. Lebanon. I mean, we called one night around 270 something rounds, 275 rounds. Just think about it. Bam, 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 bam. Battleship, there was nothing like it. And then the Westpacks were so fun. And we would actually hit ports over Asia. Maybe even went down to Australia. There's nothing like it. The commodity, no other command compared. Well, after that, 90, got called to go to down to Antarctica. Worked at the Edmonton Scout South Post Station, and I worked at the South Post Station up on researchers. They were drawing the depths of ice, and I was the one that was like doing like the notepad, but it was more like a grease pencil type thing because it's windy and stuff. But I was the one that was kind of like doing the pad. But it was still really neat. 2 weeks down there working with them. Got out and went back to Long Beach. That's where the battleship was, in Long Beach. Stayed with my friend for a few weeks. My friend was Steve Gordon, and I sure miss him. He passed away last year. Died of a heart attack. And then I moved up to Seattle, where I was stationed at Sandpoint, Washington. I was with the reserves in Sandpoint. It was a Cargo Handling Battalion, Unit 5. And that was a 91, 92 time frame. And then, after that, I came back in active duty. I cross-rated to Cook. But before I actually cross-rated to Cook, I was on a short tour temporary duty on the USS Underwood FFG-36. On the Underwood, I did boarding team operations. And that's what had me cross-rate to Cook. I saw some things that gave me nightmares. Opened up a cargo hold and we found half-naked children in this cargo hold being trafficked. That was just, it was sad. I still have PTSD and nightmares and trouble sleeping because of that. That and to deal with all the pain I deal with, it gets frustrating. So I cross-rated to Cook, went to A school in San Diego, then went to the USS Richmond K. Turner, CG-20, out of Charleston, South Carolina. I served down there until 95. Aboard that one, I did two, I guess they call them Caribbean cruises, and there were counter-drug operations in the Caribbean, and in 93 I did the Med Cruise 93. And Med Cruise 93 went all over Europe, Italy, Spain, France, Greece. I miss that traveling. And I would have to say that was my second favorite command of all my Navy commands. Because after that, my career started to go downhill. And then I got assigned as a second class cook. I made second class cook. So if you think about it, I went from a second class bosun, because in Antarctica I was a second class bosun mate, down to a seaman again, going to A school, then working my way back up to second class cook. So that put a little dent in my career as well, going up in the ranks. I was a stateroom supervisor, started as a stateroom supervisor on the John C. Stennis, CVN 74. We were out of Newport News, Virginia. I was on the pre-commissioned unit. I am a plank on the John C. Stennis. So I went to did that. The staterooms prepared. And then, and 2 weeks before the officers moved on board, I got assigned down to as a pretty good job, actually. First, I got assigned in the galley. That wasn't very good. And at the ship got commissioned, and I was a line cook for a few months. Man, a line cook for 6,200 people. That was a lot of work. But then I got that pretty good job. I got assigned as the training and education petty officer for the entire supply department. So I was in charge of all those training records, like over 900 training records. Entering all the stuff on the training records and conducting the training in the galley to the cooks. But it kind of upset me on the Stennis is somebody else got the award that I actually earned. Navy Accommodation Medal. He got an accommodation medal for his outstanding performance in preparation of the staterooms. When I was the one that did all that preparation of the staterooms. But 2 weeks before the officers moved on board, he took over. All he did was handed out the keys. And that upset me that somebody else got an award that I earned. And I said, like I said, my career started to go downhill. But on the Stennis, I was also teaching a little bit of karate classes, but I also was learning 7-star praying mantis Kung Fu. So that was pretty cool. Sifu Bison Lopez, he was doing his Kung Fu program on board. That was pretty fun. And I would also teach a little bit of karate. And then I finally went to shore duty in Newport, Rhode Island. In Newport, Rhode Island, I was there from 98 to 2000. Because I was on the Stennis from 95 to 98, and then 98 to 2000 I was in Rhode Island. I was assigned to the blue team, the night watch, and we had 12-hour shifts. We had a day shift and a night shift. And I worked with the auxiliary security force in securing the base, and that was during the time during Infinite Reach when President Clinton lost those missile attacks in Tanzania and I believe Africa, Sudan. Yeah, Sudan and Tanzania. And we had an upgraded security, and I knew then what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a Master at Arms. So I put in my class rate package. And I put in several class rate packages to become a Master at Arms. I was tired of being a cook, Cooks, we worked a lot of hours. We never slept as a cook. You're working 16, 18 hours in a galley. You're never sleeping on a ship. Plus, I was doing all these collateral duties as well. Everything, from the training petty officer to laundry petty officer, doing all the supplies, laundry, making sure it was all pressed, bringing them back up. I was just, plus I was like doing mail. I was like in charge of helping sorting the mail for supply. I was just like all these collateral duties, plus all the hours I was working as a cook. It was overwhelming. So then I got assigned to the worst command ever, the dreaded USS Bellawood, LHA-3. We went on there from 2000 to 2004. And my first assignment aboard that one, was my very first was actually QA. That's right, because I worked in QA. QA, quality assurance, and that was pretty good. And I was just doing inventories. And going on, I had the counters that could sit the store, automatic, hitting the button, boom, 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 boom. I was doing inventories. And then I got that assignment in the galley, speed line supervisor. And, oh man, I hated doing that. It's just not as big as a carrier, but a lot of people. And then running a speed line practically by myself, and the way I was treated like garbage. And they made me what they called the sanitation petty officer, which means I had all these other cloud of duties. I was cleaning the reefer. I was in charge of making sure the berthing was cleaned. I was doing the laundry. I was doing all these things, and I had no respect at the way these, hate to say it, Filipinos. I come on the Filipino mafia, and they treated me like garbage. Had me do all the dirty work. Plus, I was cleaning all the storerooms as well. I was just like way overwhelmed. And I didn't like the way I was treated, and I put in a complaint to the captain on board, Captain Gay at that time. I said, I'm going to be a Master at Arms. I already had a cross-rate package in, and that was during the time of Edwin Border, when I actually put that cross-rate package in. And Border knew the stuff I was going through, and he recommended me to be a Master at Arms, and that's how I actually got with the ASF team. So then I became part of the ship's self-defense force, and I was teaching basically jiu-jitsu and self-defense tactics. And then finally became a Master at Arms. I worked in the brig on my last tour, on my last duty on board, working in the brig. Ended up getting injured on board, and that's why it was called I call it my dreaded command. Not only the way I was treated so badly, but getting injured, hurting my back. My knee was swelled up like a balloon. Tore up my shoulder. And I have permanent disability and permanent injuries because of that. Getting knocked down that ladder well. And so I went to Great Lakes. I did rehab at Great Lakes, 18 months initial rehab. And at Great Lakes I did like admin duties. I worked at the front desk, did admin, administrative type duties, took phone calls. And then they sent me home, home awaiting retirement. I got sent home and retired, come back to duty. Then got a phone call from Commander Cox, and I thought it was a prank call. And ended up going up to Great Lakes and meeting this commander. He wanted me to try to get a unit going, a secret unit going at the Rock Island Arsenal. Well, the unit never really happened at the Rock Island Arsenal. We were trying to set it up, and I was going to meetings, and I was talking about it, and I was in my Sea Cadet uniform, and I was made a lieutenant with the Sea Cadet Corps. So I ended up helping them for a couple of years as like a training officer, and helping to conduct training and do training lectures, and giving back. And now I'm done with that. I got done with that 2013. That was the same time I got my master's degree. Got my master's in arts and sociology, the BA in theology, which is my highest degrees. And then I also have a BA in art from Western Illinois University. I have an AAS in culinary arts from Johnson and Wales University. I have an AAS in general education from Community College of Rhode Island. I got 2000. So I have a lot of things underneath my belt, but now I just do volunteering. And I enjoy that. I mean, I worked with ESL for a couple of years. I worked Life Literacy is for Everyone. I worked with the TLC, the Literacy Connection, for 1 year. I was volunteered at the zoo. I volunteered, but a house fire happened last year, so I wasn't able to do much with that. Uh, this year, I'm thinking of either volunteering, helping out at the Y, or helping out one of the hospitals. But that's what I like to do. I like to give back and volunteer. But that was my Navy career briefly. If you want all the details of my Navy career, get on carditim.com and then click on the link on it that says My Navy Journey. Has my entire career really broken down. But that was it. My Navy career. Comment down below if you served. Blessings always.